In this video, we're going to be discussing how to add a profile or user account page, as well as some of the key things that you'll want to let all of your users manage themselves, and providing clear contact information for if they have any questions about their account. So we're going to be adding a profile page to this RepelStack demo site. Right now, we already have some user information displaying here, but we want to take this and turn it into its own page so that the user can manage things like their plan, their limits, their billing once we set up checkout, and direct any questions toward us as needed. So to do this, I'm going to ask Agent to create a new page, and in doing so, I'm also going to ask it to restructure our courses page to have a side menu so that we can navigate between the pages that are behind our paywall inside of our app. So I will include this prompt with this lesson, so you can just copy it and amend it according to your own app's setup and structure. I've included an image that Replit Agent can use for the design of our new page, and I've made sure to include an instruction for adding the sidebar so that the user can navigate between pages. While Agent is building that, let's just talk through some of the main things to keep in mind when building out a user account page. There are certain things that the user needs to be able to manage themselves, and also key information that they need to know from your app. First of all, they need to know that they are logged in and under which email address. This is really important for customer support later on. Maybe a user has accidentally signed up with one email address and paid with another email address. So the first thing you want to ask and check is to make sure which email address is being used on the account. And the easiest way to let the user know is just to show them on their profile page. Other things like which plan they're on, any limits or usage that you've set in place for the app. And for any situations that they can't manage themselves, we need to include a very clear contact, whether that's an email address or maybe a form to submit requests. But the user needs to be able to get in touch with you if they run into any issues, and often the account page is a good place to have this information. If your app has payment and billing, for example, if you have a subscription and you need the user to be able to manage their subscription, on our account page, we're going to also have an option to manage your user's subscription and billing. Don't worry, I'm going to show that in more detail in the course on adding Stripe checkout. But for now, this is just another piece of information that you're going to include on your account page. And lastly, you may want to add some tutorials or learn more options. Again, the goal is to try and let the user self-serve, fix their own problems as much as possible. Tutorial videos and FAQs can be helpful for that. All right, great. So now we have this sidebar menu, which is got our home page, it has a new account page, and it has our courses page here. Replit's actually moved the name and requests and plan information into this top section of the sidebar menu and added the logout button to the bottom, which actually makes a lot of sense. So now our courses page just has the courses and requests, and our sidebar menu has the general user information. Let's head over to the account page. So, name, email, recently joined, clearly showing the user's plan and their current usage. It's created this little list of plan features, and it has a clear contact and support option at the bottom. So the account page, basically we can pull any information about this user that we want to display to them. We could even start sharing usage stats for things like how many lessons they've completed, how many courses they've completed. All we need to do is aggregate the data that we have connected to this user and ask Replit Agent to present it to them on this account dashboard page. So the key points to make sure you include are the user's email, their current plan, a contact detail for getting in touch with you if they run into any problems, and an option to log out from their account. Now this sidebar design is not the best because I need to scroll down to see this logout button at the bottom. Let's just ask agents to make sure the sidebar is fixed height. So that's much better. Now let's just discuss some things to keep in mind when you're creating your user profile page. First of all, you need to make sure that this page is protected by your login system. So if someone who's not logged in tries to access the /account page, we don't actually want to even let them see the page. We want to redirect them back to our home page. We also want to make sure that we are authenticating and authorizing users for that page. So if I land on the account page, it should only show my information and not the information of another user. And just to stress the fact that if you are charging your customers and they have a subscription or a plan for their billing, we need to make it very easy for them to manage their billing portal or canceling their account, upgrading, making changes, viewing any invoices. I'll go through all of that in the lesson on implementing Stripe checkout, but just to be clear, we need to have that option clearly available. And the last thing that I'll say is that you may not always need a dedicated account page. Sometimes you can even just have a profile icon in the top menu. So for example, on the RepelStack website, I have this drop-down menu for the profile, which has the user's email, their current plan, a link to their customer portal to manage their billing, a link to watch more on YouTube for tutorials, and a clear option to get in touch, as well as a logout option. Depending on your app's needs, maybe you don't need a full account page, and this top right profile drop-down menu is also a good option. So last thing, we just want to make sure that our account page is indeed only available to logged in users, and we're going to redirect anyone who's not logged in to our homepage. And we just want to implement proper authentication and authorization to make sure that users are only able to see their own account information. Again, I'll have a full course on security best practices. It's not necessary to run these security checks with every new feature, as long as you do a thorough and robust check before you deploy your app.